Good morning, everyone. It is Monday, August 1st, 2022, and joining me, as always, on 5-Minute Mondays is Dr. Timothy Bray. Dr. Bray, what do we have today? Show us the dashboard, please.
Sure. Good morning, Danny. Here's what we're looking at today. We are down 5% in North Texas in new cases. So last week we had 18,539 new cases. We're carrying an active caseload of right at about 47,000. We're about 4 shy of 47,000, which is also down about 5% from the week before. Now, these numbers are encouraging, but remember, these numbers are the positive tests that are known to the government, known to public health. And with the advent of at-home testing and extremely mild symptoms, this number is less and less, I don't want to say reliable, but it is less and less accurate. And we probably all know somebody who didn't feel well, went to the pharmacy, took a home test, stayed home for 5 days, went back to work. That number never showed up. If you didn't go to your physician, if you didn't get tested at a lab, you're not in these numbers. So another number that we tend to look at is what we see in the hospitals, patients in the hospital with COVID. So here again, we're looking at North Texas hospitals, trauma service area E. And I like to look at this number right here, which is as of 2 days ago. This is lab confirmed patients in the hospital. So people in the hospital who have COVID, right? And this number is actually showing, the increase has slowed in the last few days, but it hasn't gone away, right? So what we're looking at here is still that same sort of slow and steady increase. But again, because the illness is so much, for most people, is so much less severe than we were seeing in the very early days of COVID, and we have these at-home tests, we don't see a lot of these numbers. And by the way, this number, just so everybody's clear, is not people in the hospital because of COVID. This is people who are in the hospital and have COVID. The reason I show this number is the hospital tests everybody who is admitted, right? And so we get sort of a subset of the population. These are people who may be in the hospital for COVID, but the vast majority of them are in the hospital for something else. They're in the hospital for a procedure, and they have tested positive. So it's a good base for us to get a sense of a number actually going up or going down. It's more than likely true that this number is still going up in the community, but because this is such a mild round of the disease, we aren't seeing the big impacts on our healthcare system that we saw before. So you saw that trend. I just want to show you one other line so you can see sort of how this differs. That steadily increasing line was the line for hospitals. Let's look at the public health line, active cases for Dallas County. Again, you see that we have that increase, but in the last few days, we see this decrease that we don't see in the hospitalization data. So again, it's sort of like a battle of two different sets of numbers. And what we do in public health is try and find the true course between all of the inputs that we're getting.
Thank you, Dr. Bray. And I know you aren't in the business of predicting per se, but with these kind of, like you said, the two battling of numbers, do you have any idea when you think that this will peak? Do you think that we are at that peak? What, just kind of your ideas about that, maybe according to UT Southwestern as well?
Yeah, so one of the challenges that we have with predicting peaks now, right, is that the data that we have are much more cloudy. And it's complicated by the fact that we have multiple variants out there. So, UT Southwestern all along has been predicting a July peak. If this is that July peak, then it would make sense that we're starting to turn the corner, right? Now we do have school coming back around the corner. Everybody's opening with in-person school, so we'll watch for a few weeks and see what that does. But the last few years, we've not seen any major outbreaks in schools. Schools have not been a vector of transmission. So, so hopefully we continue to see that. I don't see unless we see a major change in either the severity of mostly in the severity of the illness, I don't think we'll see anything like the lockdowns we saw in 2020.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Bray. We will see you next week.
Thanks, Danny.